Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nerds with Dice. It has been a while, but it is good to be back. Real quick, of course, first things first, we do have merch, and you can go check that out through the link in the chat or heading over to Twitter and finding the link in the bio. As well as that, we do have a couple new shows joining us this summer, but for now we have Riffs and we have Kingdom Hearts Dreams of Nobody tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST with the Bardic Knock, and you can expect Sundays to have VTM and Mondays to have Wanderhome, and Fridays will be... Oh, thank you, Armor Lord, for the subscription. 8 months. We got a couple 8 months. We got Michelle, too. So thank you, guys. Um, and the other thing is we are going to be teaming up with the Bardic Knock and his Twitch channel to be putting on a little Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling tournament to raise money for the Stonewall Community Foundation. June 19th, anybody is allowed to join. We are asking for a $10 donation as an injury fee, but we've already had a few donations paid forward, so there are some spots available at no cost. Anybody's allowed to join. Even if you don't know how to play, we have a few people willing to help people learn. I made 16 base decks that anybody can use that are made to be competitive and easy to use for a newcomer. And you can head over to the Discord. There should be a link in there in the announcements page or the recruitment board to sign up, and hopefully we will see some people do that. So I hand it off to you, Kevin. Hold on.
Hello.
You are someone else. You would count, but you don't.
Okay,
Hey.
now they should be able to.
Okay, can you? Let's see. I'm just gonna start talking. So, welcome back, everybody. It's been a month, and I hope my brain's better for it. Also, we have the helpful closed caption, or not closed caption, the transcribing. Yeah. So you probably could see what we were saying, but thank you for saying
Isn't that what
something.
closed caption is? Are they two different things?
They are, I think, for our purposes, the same thing, but there is a difference, I believe. Anyway.
Huh. Look that up.
So the group had traveled to the dimension known as Palladium, searching for the Garden of the Gods, which they found, and Kid had a chat with the dragon god, the forgotten dragon god Anaya. And Kid chose to break the chain that was holding Anaya. The rest of the group each found themselves in front of a different, what did I say? Not a statue in the garden. And,
or nothing. In case of Freya.
Well, you found yourself somewhere, standing in front of a statue with nothing. There was a platform with nothing on it. All right. So let's just go there first. Picking up right where we left off. Freya, you were standing in a dark forest. It's daytime, but it feels like it's hitting dusk. The trees are black wood. There are tangles surrounding an altar with nothing on it. There is kind of a bramble situation around what looks to be a sitting area. The entire place is kind of jammed, cramped, and the forest feels looming in on you.
I go up to the platform I mean, does the platform say anything since there's no statue, but does it say anything?
It says nothing. You can you can see that there's some letters on it, but you can't quite make it out. It's a little dark. It is lonely here. The place feels empty.
Can I change into Rohan?
You begin to change into Rohan, and then Rohan is next to you. This doesn't cost you anything. Now you're seeing it from two angles, and you can see that on top of the statue, it is a statue of a many-tentacled being with kind of a bird beak and tentacles. It looks horrific, kind of. Oh, it doesn't have a bird beak. It has kind of a maw. And this entire statue is made of a black material. A material so black that one would call it Vanta Black TM, or whatever the most high-tech black is that blacks the blackness, the darkness. The statue sits there, and you hear a whisper. Say, "There you are. Now I can see you."
Who are you?
I am Vil.
Phil?
The reaching darkness. The bleeding, oozing darkness that sneaks up on you and tears out your throat. And you are interesting.
Well, I've been called worse.
You're not from here. You don't know me. But I see what you are made of, and I recognize it.
How do you recognize it?
Long ago, when I was renowned, there was a might scuffle between my kindred and what these people call gods. I saw many forms there. And out of a darkness, the bright ones came. With their piety and judgment, and we knew them. We were familiar. But I, being the smartest, most ingenious, most deeply intelligent of all the great ones, knew when tides turn, it is better to ride the wave. Do you stand firm in your principles unto death? Or do you see possibilities?
There's always options. That's
Yes.
how I lived my life and why I left the situation, because I realized there were options.
Yes. I like that. And you, with your dark sword, your angelic monstrosities, we could be cousins.
Well, I never knew my parents, so
I wonder if you had any. And with that, we will cut to Peppermint. You were standing in front of a statue of a woman who seemed to be holding a bird in her hand and crying. You hear in the trees around you a very lovely bird song that you're not familiar with. Maybe this is something new from Palladium, you're not sure. You've never heard it before, and it is light and airy and sweet and peaceful. You kind of get the impression that it's a voice you could easily follow.
I'll follow it then.
As you follow it, you see the bird seems to be leading you towards a small orc child who is sitting by a river crying.
Hello?
The kid looks up at you with a little bit of fear, but not so much that the kid looks like they're about to run. I didn't mean to run away, but I'm lost. And can you take me back?
Take you back where?
Well, I ran away from my mom. We were visiting the garden, and she wanted to see some big, toothy, ancient orc guy, and I thought that was dumb, but I wandered off, and now I'm here, and you're the first person I've seen in a while.
Do you remember which way you came from?
No.
If I look around, are there like tracks or anything in the grass or dirt or...
A little bit. There's not so much. There's like a little deer path that wanders. And it seems they came from somewhere, but the trail goes cold very quickly.
Okay.
The child is has long kind of hair down to here and is wearing a very formless little, looks to be peasant frock. And just looks up with you with big wet eyes and is like, I heard a name.
What name was that, child?
Damu. Or was it Damu?
Dame.
I think it was Damu.
Okay.
Are you... And then a bird came and sat on my shoulder and told me a story while I was here. About a little girl who was born in a bad place. And then some people rescued her and took her to a place with a family that looked exactly like her. She was just a baby, apparently. And I'm no baby. But I'm lost too.
let's see if we can help you with that. And I will offer the child my hand.
Child looks up at you with a tentative and holds out their hand for you to take.
And then I want to lead them back from the direction that I came.
Now, here's the thing. You go to do that, and then you hear that bird singing again.
I'll follow the bird.
You follow the bird, and you don't end up back in front of the statue. You end up in a larger part of the garden where there are other people. You find an orc goddess. Let's see which one is the most fun. Where this woman's... you see an orc woman who is offering making an offering of breads and fruits to a statue. There it is. Of what looks to be an orc woman wearing a gown, standing in a very sensual pose, like looking like she's a model, holding a cornucopia. And the woman looks over and goes, "Tenna, there you are. Where did you wander to? I told you it's not safe to leave." Oh. And looks up at you and sees that you are not an orc and is a little cautious and like,
He was lost. I just wanted to make sure he got back.
"Thank you.
You're welcome.
I came for the blessing of Ekla, goddess of love, and barely realized that he had gone before I found my way here."
It's all right now.
What is your name? So I may say thank you. And the little girl goes, "Ivy." The little kid says Ivy when you say peppermint. And then we cut to Greeks. You're standing in front of a techno-organic forest. A being roughly your shape stands upon a pedestal. It moves in a very well, it doesn't move. But you can see light pulsing across it in a very distinct pattern that you quickly realize is a language. It's somewhere between binary and your home language.
Okay.
It says, "Awaiting input." Create user profile.
Do I recognize this figure?
You
as
don't.
Something from my species history.
Your species has a rich history, but they long ago gave up religion. It's so far back that this was before your species even left their home planet. They had already left worship of ancestors and whatnot they didn't feel they needed it anymore. And as your people moved to the stars, it just got further and further distant. You know that there are songs of old folk heroes, but it seems that even those have been sanitized to remove any religious connotations. your people have plays and music, but it is not so much about the past as what the people in them could be.
Okay. I'll say yes. Begin create user profile.
Input ID.
Greeks.
Input passcode. Input passcode again.
I'm just gonna just say some random thing.
Passcodes do not match. Please input passcode.
I'm gonna look on the figure. Is there any? Is it on there somewhere?
It's you're not trying to log into it. You're trying to create a profile. It wants to confirm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you put in a passcode and then you repeat it.
Yeah.
You see its thumb move and then take a thumbs up position, and then everything behind it turns kind of light blue and wavy with like a faint motion of blue, kind of a pleasant color. And there you see a file floating in midair that just says sysadmin. There is also a little button appears by your feet. The button is shaped like one of your people in prayer.
I'll click the button.
You click the button and a menu comes up. Shut down, restart, search.
Search.
Search bar pops up in front of you. A cursor blinks on it.
What was the dragon's name?
Anaya was the name of the dragon.
All right.
That kid was here to see.
I'll input Anaya.
You input Anaya and no files found. Or zero results. In front of you are infinite options to put in the search bar. The folder is still there. You could put another thing into the search bar, but it's not going to come up with much. Nothing except for the name of your people will trigger any result, it seems. What are Greeks' people called? I don't remember if we've...
Yeah, I don't think we came up with a name.
No.
But I'll input the the home planet
You
or
input the home
directions home.
You input directions home, you get nothing. You put in the home planet, and then a file pops up showing the entirety of the planet that your species came from. It is nothing like the maps you've seen of that planet. The continents are more smushed together. This is clearly an ancient map.
Okay.
Do you have astronomy? By any chance? Or astrophysics, preferably. If anyone has it, it's you, but I don't know if you do.
I don't actually.
Okay. It's not really a thing you would have needed. But give me a navigation.
41.
So that's enough to get you some information. The star chart is comparable because you were on a spaceship. You know star navigation a little better. In 3 dimensions. You see several galaxies that have since become black holes on this map. You see several places where there are now things that there is nothing at the time. A pop-up comes up and says, a new system has been update discovered. Would you like to overwrite? Yes, no, remind me later.
Yes.
A prompt comes up. Copy update to sysamin.
Okay.
Okay. You click OK, and the entire thing, a blue beach ball just starts floating in the air in front of you. It takes a moment. And then one of the plants opens. Out drops a seed. By the time the seed hits the ground, it has grown into a full-sized being of your species. It looks at you and says, I am Sysamin. What does user require? We cut to. We cut to Starissa, sorry. You are in front of a statue of a dragon with a broken wing. It's pleasant. Things are a bit unkempt there. Someone has drawn a weird mustache on part of the statue. And you hear from behind you a voice go,
Hello? Turning around.
You turn around real quick and you see what looks to be a... Hold on, I need to check a thing real quick because my brain just double thought. You check and see, you turn around and you see what looks to be some kind of human dressed in a weird, kind of looks like a suit. Like a little bit like a business suit, but it's a little oversized. And it's a little crookedy on them. And they have thick, dark glasses. I'm trying to find a specific picture for my own thing. And they have a hat, which is nothing but like, it looks like a jester hat with nothing but weird spikes coming off of it. And they have a mustache, much like the one drawn on the statue. You know, so nice to meet you. You come here often?
Nope. This is my first time.
Yeah. Where you come from?
Uh, well, I can't say where I came from because we're not allowed to talk about it. But
Oh, that kind of place, huh?
we come from another Earth.
I've been to an Earth. I've been to Earth a couple of times.
Is
May
it
I?
all blown up and full of mean people?
Well, most places are if you look at them long enough. That's the thing.
Ours was
So-
all blown up.
Yeah, when I was there was a lot of explosions. A couple of mean people, but you know what? You just put a red nose on them, and they're hilarious.
That sounds hilarious. Maybe.
Yep. I can tell you're new at this. So, you are. Do you know where you are?
In the Garden of the Gods.
That is correct. Win the girl a prize.
Woohoo! What do I win?
You won a fabulous full trip, well, full paid trip right to wherever the heck you're going next.
Cool. Can I bring my friends?
They're gonna have to pay their own way.
Well, I can't leave them because I promised them I was going to stay and help them.
That's a good friend. That's a good friend. Now, you seem to see yourself in a bit of a new place, huh? So, would you like to know about what you got in front of you here?
Yeah, what is it? Besides something you drew a mustache on.
I didn't draw that mustache.
You didn't draw that mustache.
No, I
but
drew
it
that
looks just like
mustache.
yours. Kind of
I-
guessed.
You may address me as Floyd Bonificus Flumpants.
I don't know if I could say that.
You gotta try it.
Floyd Flumabongus Flumplant.
No, it's Flord
Florg
Bonificus
Bonsiphus
Flumpants.
Flumpits.
Pants, not pits.
Pants.
Yes, there you go. Pants are always a comedy gold mine. Let me tell you. But what you have in front of you is very special, and this is a very somber place.
Well,
I thought it needed a little livening up.
who was he?
This right here, this is the god pretty much only I worship anymore. This is Nias Lad.
I've heard that name.
Nice lad, yeah, she, mighty goddess of dragons, believed in good and justice and purity, and attempted to take down a tyrant, but, plans weren't up to snuff, and Styphathon the Black did what Styphathon the Black does, and what you have is what's in front of you here. I mean, this isn't actually the goddess, yada yada yada. This is a representation, blah 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 blah, metaphorical place. You know the drill. Well, maybe you don't. I don't know you that well.
Nope, I don't.
Okay, well, you're gonna learn, I guess, or not.
I
So-
like learning.
Do you want to know why a foolish man like me worships a goddess of justice and goodness who's been, let's say, taken down a peg of 2 or 7 or 24 or pretty much all the pegs in existence?
Sure.
If you were older, I'd make a joke about pegs. However, I see this and myself as a perfect example of something in change, something in flux, something becoming something. This is a goddess, very serious, very powerful, who is taken down and is reinventing herself as we speak.
She's still alive?
Gods only die when the universe ends, and this one's still got, looks at where a watch isn't, a good amount of time left on it.
Phew. I like the universe, where I live.
It's where I keep my things. That's a good joke. So, let me tell you, kid, and he walks up right next to you, puts his arm on his shoulder, and says, when people underestimate you, there's pretty much nothing you can't get away with. So, would you like to hear a story about a bar fight that took down a kingdom?
Sure.
I caused it. It was a lot of fun. And the bench behind you is now clear of debris. And as you sit down on it, Floored Bonsiphus reaches down and what moves a whoopee cushion away before you sit down. And then tells you a story. It is long. It is a king in this land, Palladium, was terrible, a brutal tyrant to all people. Was a human king in the Western lands, where secret cults of darkness sometimes plot to overtake the throne and succeed. And Lord Bonsiphus, Flompants, had liked this territory, thought of it as theirs. They didn't like how this king was expanding. And so they came up with a plan to create Lord Bonsiphus Flompants. Because the thing a tyrant can't stand is to know that they don't control everything. And Lord Bonsiphus Flompants became the most popular minstrel in the area, the zaniest of jesters, the wackiest of whacks. And the king couldn't take the attention being given elsewhere. From his mighty throne, he summoned Lord Bonsiphus Flompants in front of him to show him who was in charge, or to show them who was in charge. Lord Bonsiphus attended this and brought with them an entire caravan and party. And when the king declared that Lord Bonsiphus Flompants would be put to death at the end of the party, Lord Bonsiphus agreed. But the party never ended. The party kept going until even the king was drunk and singing. And as the king was drunk and singing, he suddenly fell dead with a claw mark in his back. And the party kind of petered out, but it didn't seem there was anyone left to enforce the king's verdict.
Wow. That's a good story.
I'd say tell it far and wide, but please, you know what, do. Yeah, do tell it far and wide. Listen, if I know things, and I do know things because I hear things, because I am everywhere, I like you. I see what you're doing.
Thank you.
No. I see what you're doing. I like it. You're smart.
Okay.
Would you like some training, little one?
Cool. What kind of training?
Pulls a bouquet of flowers out of his jacket, pops it into a sword, goes, magical.
Ooh, I like magic.
And that's where we cut away. Anaya, the old woman, is sitting on the bench, standing up to a full height of about 5'9". Says, she pulls a hood back, and you can see dark features. She has black skin. She has curly, close-cropped hair in this human form. It's not entirely... The face is somewhat familiar. She still looks like an older woman. But if you change the haircut and it was younger, you could swear that that was Winra's face.
Okay.
Um. So what happens now?
What happens now is the threads continue to ravel, to unravel the tapestry that was weaved and weave again a new one. You must find Winra. You must unbind her.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I almost found her once. How do I unbind her? What is she bound by? Like a spell or some sort of like is there like some sort of crystal in a mountain I gotta smash or
She takes out a hand and gently taps down, and a thread that looks not too dissimilar from the thing that flew into each of you suddenly appears. And she goes, "This is a string of fate."
I got one of those.
Yes, I know.
Huh.
When I put them in the boxes, I knew
You made them?
some of them.
Did
I
you
did
make them
not
for
know
me?
how they would be used, but
Okay.
I knew they would come to this.
They're connection, right? They're like forces of energy that draw things together or
Draw things
something like
together,
that.
bind them together, not always for better, not always for worse, but seemingly always for a purpose.
Okay.
It is my oldest plan. And when I was unraveled and bound, I knew that in time I would be rewoven.
Okay.
You are
So
on a path still. Your path is clearer ahead of you now, I think.
I mean, yeah, now that I know I just need to find her and then uh cut this and I point at the string.
You can cut the string, or
Or
you can cut the hand holding the strings.
who's holding the strings? Zarian?
Zarian's a pawn who believed himself unbound, or desired to be unbound, and has found some success in the plots of the Dark Princes or whatever.
Sounds like he just got bound differently.
His binding was a familial one, passed through generations for the great sins of the past.
Okay. So if he's not the one holding the strings, then it would be the. And I look around me. There's nobody around us,
There's
right?
absolutely no one here. Just
The
you,
night-
the statue, and her.
The Night Lords. Am I not supposed to say that here also? I figured like gods.
It's just they
this is
make
like
me
a whole different.
uneasy. They are not gods. They are not mortals. They are not. I don't know if they're natural.
Can I even stop them?
One of them.
Okay, that's the one I care about. Whichever one is captured Wenra and Zarian and is making them do all this horrible shit.
I will leave you to your own conclusions, but
Okay.
Zarian made a deal. That deal must be broken before my Winra will be unbound.
Why is Winra even wrapped up in this? I mean, did Zarian sell her string? How did this even? Why is she caught up in this? If Zarian made a deal with these horrible things, why is she even involved?
Do you know who Winra is?
Well, yeah, I grew up with her. She's one of my best friends. She's my best friend. Yeah, and
Do you know why Winra is?
birds and the bees, science. When a mama and a papa love each other very much, that whole thing. I do not understand the question.
Clearly. There's certain things that you are capable of understanding, and certain things you are not as a mortal.
Try me. I may not be quick, but I'm pretty open-minded. Try me.
Are you familiar with analogies and metaphors?
Some of them.
You do smithing?
Yeah. If this is a joke about banging, my dad has made that joke 100 times, and it's just not funny anymore.
Why would it be a joke about banging? The hammer and
Because
the anvil?
the hammer and the anvil, and it's
What other
when the forge is
connotation?
hot enough, and it was always gross. What?
I will go my own way with this, as you are not prepared to meet me on that plane. You have fingernails, yes.
Yes.
She holds up one of her human hands, which is missing part of a finger. I appreciate you reattaching it on the statue.
Yeah.
But as you can see, I am not whole.
So if I get your finger, you can help me save Winra.
There is no difference.
Between your finger and saving Winra?
Remove the word saving.
There's no difference between your finger and Winra.
Repeat it again.
There is no difference between your finger and Wenra. That doesn't make any sense.
And with that, we cut to... we'll just keep going in order then. We're going to cut back to Vil and Freya and Rohan. How does Rohan feel in the presence of this mighty, evil thing that claims to be basically one of the least of the old ones?
If they feel it's evil, they are not going to like it.
It is definitely malevolent. It definitely radiates a sense of evil. Seeing it through Rohan's eyes, the shimmer of its darkness is not dissimilar from... The shimmer off of its darkness is not too dissimilar from the material that makes up Rohan's scales.
So is it like the similar feeling when they are in the presence of like...
It's similar to the presence of a vampire on a much grander scale, but not similar to the presence of one of the Night Lord's minions. It's like a different, stronger scent, like a drop of rose scentedness is how a vampire might be to Rowan senses. This is a gallon of that. The Night Lords would be a drop of cinnamon, or the Night Lord's minions would be a drop of cinnamon. This is a immensely strong, but different evil.
Then very uncomfortable.
You
They-
are
yeah.
Darkborn, spawned of the night. And yet, you've chosen to oppose what you see as a destructive force. Reminds me of my younger self.
Are you saying that about me or about them? I mean, Rohan and I were tied. However, Rohan has, well, they're 5 and they have started to, become. So I'm curious, are you talking about me or about them?
Well, that seems to be a troublesome question. There is you. Both of you are you.
Wait, what?
I see one being. But you are defining yourself. I like that. I like it. That you see something and define it the way you want. I did that. I told them I will be seen as a god, equal to all other gods in this Palladium world. And with their meager powers, in need of my immense strength, they agreed. As I am now a god.
Huh. But then were you betrayed?
I am the betrayer. I am the reaching darkness, clawing its way back again forever. I am immensely powerful, more so than you could even potentially understand.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
You notice that the forest here is dark and dense. But it doesn't seem to be moving with the reaching darkness. Vril doesn't seem to have control of it.
So, is this place your home or?
Such a waste of a place. This is... You feel something in your brain very quickly. More like a telephone booth. It was a darkness in your brain you did not like, but it came and went super quickly.
So I guess I'm only getting a glimpse of a small taste of the mighty glory that you say you are?
Yes. Yes, patronize me. When you know you will seek me out, you will open yourself to the Dark One, to the darkness that I am. When you reach for the darkness will reach back, and it will be me. Things go silent in the darkened glade. There are thorns everywhere. One of them seems to ooze a slight black blood.
Well, I'm not touching that.
You're okay? All right. All right. We go to Peppermint now. The child just said that your name was Ivy and looked up at you confused when you said Peppermint. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the baby in the story was Ivy.
But that wasn't my story either.
No? Oh, okay.
You said the baby in the story's name was Ivy?
She said the monsters saved the baby Ivy from the dark and brought her to the place of bones where there was love.
Oh. Thank you for telling me the story.
That's what Damas told me. The Dama birds are very nice, even if they're sad.
What makes you think they're sad?
It's just, I don't know, but they're sad. I think it's why they sing so pretty.
Maybe it is.
The mother says, I will ask for a blessing for you from the Orc Mother. Thank you for finding my child.
Wasn't a problem. You're welcome.
All right. We cut over to... Was Greeks next or Starissa? I think it was Starissa. Kate, you're muted, I think? I think you just said something and then...
It was Greeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Greeks.
Greeks, you're standing in front of a being that has asked what it can do for you.
Do you know the way home?
File home not found. Server connection failure, network interruption. Please run troubleshooter. Or retry again at a later date. Insufficient power to run troubleshooter. Diagnosis connection terminated, unable to reestablish. Power insufficient. Forgotten. Vibrational focus not found. Please try reconnecting Wi-Fi.
I'm gonna try connecting to it via telemechanics. See what I can see.
Connecting to this thing via telemechanics is kind of like putting your brain into an encyclopedia on /firehose. There is an entire history of your people here you were not aware of. Your people did at one point worship things. Did at one point live with multiple gods. Did have different stories for their origin, for the reason that they do certain things in the spawning pools that became traditions, that became, in your parlance, best practices. But you see the importance of the traditions and the rituals fading, and the power level of this thing dipping. You're incredibly intelligent. This thing is a mote of something from your plane that is here because you are here. And it is trying to interpret itself through the only people that could somewhat understand it, which is you. It is something that wants to know itself and is using you as the route to try to do so.
What's his power source?
The power source is only listed as power source, but you get the impression that the belief and faith are something that is important to this being. That the willingness to leave the rational can create power for this being. This being is tiny. It is showing itself to be about your size, but it isn't thick. It's not dense. It's not substantial. It's a mode of something. You're not sure you would ever be able to generate enough power through this to find your way home. It is here, and you may carry it with you, a little mode of it, or you may leave it and find your own way. Disconnect, yes or no?
No.
All right. You find yourself with a small coin, it looks like. It's actually a small chip. It is a processor chip. It has a kind of black and yellow pattern and the symbol of one of your kind praying stamped into it. It's in your palm, and the garden is made of plants again. There's nothing here, there's no altar. There's only a couple of people around. You see an orc woman talking to Peppermint. You see others around. Starissa. Person in front of you says, Floored Bonsiphus says, now, you're a bit young, so maybe you don't know what the whole, like, what do you want to do when you grow up kind of thing is for you. But when you do know, you seem like the kind of person that could get yourself there.
Maybe.
Now, the thing was, once you get yourself there, what are you going to do with it? some people decide to become big, powerful beings that lord over territory and threaten others and shout and amass treasure and breathe fire and kill others willy-nilly.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
That's not. Yeah, see, that's what I said. But no, you have to be dignified.
That doesn't sound fun either.
Yeah, so hence me.
So you never grew up to be stuffy. You just grew up to be fun all the time.
I just grew up to be older.
That sounds great. I don't want to be stuffy.
There's times you're gonna have to be stuffy. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Sometimes a stuffed shirt is what you need. And sometimes a stuffed shirt makes pretty good armor.
Yeah, maybe.
Now I'm suddenly envisioning a guy with a whole bunch of stuffing in his shirt, like the turkey kind. I'm trying to think of a joke here, but it's not coming to me yet. But I'll tell you, I'll get it.
Well, you
Not
never
no.
go hungry.
You're onto something there. He pulls out a little notebook. Stuffed shirt and never go hungry. I'll workshop it, kid. Listen, I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Nice lad. Is worth the thought. But you got other problems I can see by the thing on your wrist and the whole thing with Anaya and the whatnots and the who's.
You know about Anaya too?
Well, it's about time for me to be going. I gotta get back to the library so I can piss off some monks.
Okay.
So if you make your way out to the library, which, it's an option, look me up. I'll be there.
Well, I might have to since you know Anaya. I think you know stuff that you're not telling me.
Oh, absolutely.
So if we go to the library, you'll tell us stuff that we need to know?
Well, if I told you everything I know, then you'd know it and you wouldn't need it, so yeah.
Oh. You're lonely and you want me to come to the library. So you can tell me the stuff I need to know.
I'm never lonely. I'm surrounded by yeah, that's it.
Okay.
It's a bit of a trip, so.
Well, we're on an adventure, so if helping everyone else means going to the library, I'm sure they'll be up for it.
Well, as long as we're consistent, we're gonna get through this. And hey, maybe we'll learn a thing or two along the way. Adventures are fun.
They are.
His horn brim glasses go up and down a little bit, and his entire nose and mustache move as they do. He says, "Well, I'll be seeing you."
Bye-bye.
You should address me by my title, please.
Lord.
Nope. One more time.
Lord
Lord Bonsiphus Flumpants.
Lord Bonsiphus Florpants. I'll
You'll
work
get
on
it. And the silly looking being, they walk out of the forest. They walk down a path. And would you like to sit there for a little bit and look at the statue?
A little bit, yeah. Think about it. Maybe I'll talk to it a little.
What do you talk to the statue about?
I go, I don't know if you can hear me, but Flord says that you're still alive. We could use any help we can get. My friend Kid, his friends are in trouble, and we need to help them or stop them. So, I don't know. People said that they pray to gods, and sometimes they get inspiration. So, if you feel like giving inspiration, I'll take it.
There is a twinkle in the statue's eye, which is weird because it's kind of a matte statue. And what you thought was a pained grimace before, now looks a little more like a smirk.
Thank you. I'll wait, and then I'll just go quiet, kind of
Yeah,
sit for a minute.
there's no rush. You can sit there as long as you'd like. Kid, Anaya's still in front of you and says, Winra exists as part of me.
Like you're like a daughter? Or like literally a and I point to the finger.
Say you had a breastplate
Okay.
and you took off and you needed to adjust it and you needed to make it a little smaller and you removed a 1/4 inch of material.
Okay.
That material that you removed, is that still part of the breastplate? I love you.
I don't know. Wait, do you want her back? You want your finger back, don't you?
I want to be unbound.
You don't need your finger to do that. I just did it. You're a god, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm processing that, and you're telling me that Winra is a part of you. So a small piece of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I am
So-
whole.
Yeah, you're
Even-
fine the way you are.
Yes.
Yeah. So I free Wenra. You don't come after her, right?
Why would I destroy part of myself?
I don't know. You're freaking me out. You just told me Wenra's your finger. So there's a lot going on in my head right now, but I want to make sure you don't want your finger back.
I want her freed.
Okay, I also want that. But I want her to be her own person.
Those who attempt to bind me further, unable to continue to.
How are they binding you?
I did not foresee the boxes used as traps against me.
Okay. Zarian's been collecting them. Or attempting to.
He has achieved several.
Okay, so they're using the boxes. All right, this is the kind of shit I need to know. So they're using the boxes to trap you or weaken you or something, right?
When the bounds are broken before the prophecies etched on them, they're more susceptible to corruption.
Okay, so they're breaking open the boxes and they're using the ghost strings to tie you up.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Nah, that I get. So, how do I undo that? Is it as simple as I kill the Night Lords, or do I have to find each of these boxes, or?
Child, do not give yourself the quest of killing the Night Lords.
I don't want to kill the Night Lords. I don't want to do any of this shit. But I just need to know what can I do to get Wenra and Zarian back, and if it's free you, a tethered god, then I'll fucking do it. I don't care what it takes.
You will. Do you want to see the bonds?
What do you mean?
Do you want to see the bonds that tie us?
Me and you? You and Wenra?
Would you like to be able to see the bonds that are around those involved?
Oh, Yeah, then that'll lead me to him, right? I could just follow the strings, like those cups. You know, like one cup and another cup, and they're attached by a string, and you talk through them. Except when you follow one, it leads you to the other cup.
I understand, but in a way, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be able to if it helps me. If it helps
You
me
can see the
find
trail.
them,
I will let you see the trails of my blood.
that would be awesome. That is actually why I came here, is to see if you could help me find Zarian. So yes, yeah, sure. Anything, absolutely, 100%. Let me see the ghost strings. Tethers. Do they have a? Is there a word I was supposed to call
You
them?
blink, and
Ah,
you see a bunch of just like kind of like layers in Photoshop.
okay.
You can see that some of them have a lot of strings, and if you go a little too deep, it is just all strings.
Ugh.
But if you zoom back out, you can focus in on the ones that seem to be currently affecting Anaya, but they do run out of the dimension.
Are there a lot around Anaya?
There are at least 5, and they are
Okay.
thick. With a K.
Okay. These are what's holding you. I see them. No problem. So I follow these. I find wherever they go to.
You
I
see a
smash 'em.
pulse run along them out from her, and she kind of leans forward a little as though that was painful. Yes, these are they.
Are they hurting you?
Power is what the Night Lords desire more than anything.
They're draining you.
Any power they can use to control these threads.
I look at the threads. There's 5 of them, you said?
There are 5 threads around Anaya. One on each limb and one around the throat.
Which
there is
one?
another tied around what looks to be where her finger should be.
Is that Wenris?
I believe so.
If I, just so that, because I don't completely understand how to save her, if I follow that to her, if I find her Tamara, if I find Wenra, what can I do to
Interrupt the bond.
how?
This is a representation of it. This is not. You cannot affect this side of it. In a more physical liminal space, you would be able to see it, find what it is connected to, and break the chain. You're the unbinder.
I'm the unbinder. Is that a okay? Oh, I guess yeah, because I did that, and I point to the broken chains, because I did that part.
And you can do it again.
Why can't I just break them here? That's just not how it works. I just got to do it over there.
I am not here.
For some reason, that just blew my mind. Of everything that we just talked about, that's the part that got me. But okay. So when I get there, I'll know how to break them.
You'll see they are connected to things. The boxes contained them.
Okay, and then I have to break those things.
Yes.
No problem. I'll do it. If this frees when
I
we're in
think
Zarian,
you
I'll
will.
break.
I think you will do it.
Okay, well that's good. Okay, whew. I feel good about that. Will I always be able to see these strings?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm gonna follow him.
What you have done is set the Night Lords back by destroying that factory.
Yeah, fuck that factory. It was full of mirrors. Did you know that they crawl through mirrors? If you have any mirrors, you should probably break them.
You've set them back several months, and the power to take you back to your home world will not be ready for a time.
I'm stuck here?
Yes,
Okay.
but
Okay.
after the 4th full moon, find your mother's home. And from there, you will all be able to return.
My mother's home, but that's... Oh, here. On Palladium? Like where she used to live?
Where she was born.
Oof. Okay. Okay. The 4th full moon?
Yes.
Got it. Alright. 4th full moon. Go to where my mom was born. Go back to Earth. Follow the strings. Save Wenra. Try to talk Zarian out of all this insanity. Okay. I can do it. I will do it.
She looks a little sad.
Hey, I really appreciate you helping me. I'm sorry if, well, I'm sorry this is happening, and I point to all the strings. That looks like it really sucks. Is there anything I can do to help you right now? Like anything I can get you, like a soda or something that maybe will make this not suck as much?
I appreciate your concern for this form, but
Well, not this form because you're not here, right? But wherever you are, I don't know.
these are the
Pray or
strings
something.
that I created. And though I could not have foreseen how they are used, they are the armor I must wear.
Okay. Hey, because you're attached to them, and because she was part of you, can you like see Wenra, or do you feel her at all?
In an essence, yes.
Is she okay?
No.
Is she in pain?
No.
She had a scar on her face. Did Zarian do that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I just have to wait for the 4th full moon. Is there any way that can I talk to you again without coming to this creepy garden? No offense. It's a cool garden. I'm sorry.
You may do as all mortals do to talk to gods.
Pray?
If you don't desire to, you do not need to.
Okay.
Prayers
know
are
how
not
to
always
do that.
answered.
No, it always kind of
Unfortunately-
seemed like a like sort of a no offense, but kind of like a waste of time or something. I don't know. They never seem to get any answers back. I more mean maybe like a phone call or.
If such things were directly answered, there would be no need for faith.
Oh yeah, that. Well, if you need to contact me.
I have already put the things in place, should I need to contact you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. Well, you're a god, so you probably know, when I'm gonna need to talk to you. Okay.
I know when you might, but I
Okay.
don't know for certain. Nothing is certain.
Okay. Well, thank you, Anaya. I appreciate it. It was really nice to meet you. I guess I'll go wait for 4 months. Is that how it works? Does it work different here? Is that like 4 years here? Just 4 months, right?
Months, yes.
Oh God, thank God. Thank one of you guys.
They have
Do you
different
control the
names.
moon?
No.
Oh,
I'm no moon goddess.
I
I'm a
don't know how it
dragon
works.
goddess of unity.
I don't know how that could be something to do with. You could live on the moon for as much as I know. I'm immortal, remember. The most I know is Earth. I walk around on the dirt.
And yet you walk around here on Palladium.
Which is also mostly dirt. I don't know what you guys do. I don't know what you guys. Who's the goddess of the moon? Is there a goddess of the moon?
You'll have to discover that for yourself.
Yeah, that's another time. That's a different question. Sorry, my head's spinning. Okay. I'm gonna go wait 4 months. And then I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna break the stuff, the anchors, whatever's holding them, and I'm gonna free him. Okay. All right. And then if all goes well, I won't have to face any Night Lords, right? Right?
Things get very quiet.
Okay, that's disconcerting.
There's no longer a woman in front of you.
Oh. It's
There's
just
only a statue
Oh, all right.
of a dragon with a scar on its face.
Well, goodbye, I guess. I turn and then I look back.
It's the dragon with the scar in the same place as Winra.
I walk away. That's a whole different motherfucking ball game.
I believe the only one who's not back yet would be Rohan and Freya.
What's everybody doing?
You're all kind of meeting at the garden at the same exact moment, no matter how long it takes. Rohan
Okay.
and Freya. I think the being has kind of given you every indication that it will gloat on about itself forever.
Okay. Well, sorry to interrupt your
It continues talking as you try to say things.
Okay.
The vines. Another black drop drips from one of the needles on the vines. This one looking thinner and sharper.
As I turn around, is there like no way out?
There is a way out. There is a clear path. Like, it's dark here, but there's a path you could follow.
And all the vines are dripping.
Not all the vines, just a single needle on one of the vines is dripping. A dark substance.
Can I go over? Like, does it smell?
It has no smell.
Do I feel anything from it? Does Rohan feel anything from it? Like, is it?
It is darkness. It is deadly darkness. You know poisons.
Yeah, I was just asking if I can take out a vial and collect this.
You can.
I collect a vial of darkness.
It slowly drips one tiny thing at a time into the vial until the vial's about half full. The old one, the elder, is still speaking of its own greatness and how someday you'll need it. You leave?
Yeah, I remembering what was said about like the rules of palladium and stuff. Um, she does pause and look at Rohan, and it's like, we don't know the rules. Is it okay? And it's like, so I just come out as Freya.
Does Rohan come out? Or does Rohan disappear?
I'll look at Rohan, and it's like, okay, we know the rules, and if people start screaming, you'll fly away, right? And they'll nod, and then we'll both come out and see what happens.
As you both walk out the path, you can still see the dark behind you. But it then gets lighter. It's no longer dusk. It's about late. It's late day. It's actually an earlier version of actual dusk now. And you come out. You turn a corner. You see the hedge maze start itself again. You turn a corner, and one turn into it, you see an opening where there is a woman in front of a statue of an orc goddess, which looks like this.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah.
Ooh. She's not all like armor and axes and death and stuff. She like looks like an actual goddess, just an orc.
She's a goddess of love.
What?
And all of you appear roughly around the same time in that glade.
And is Rohan still out?
Rohan is still there. The orc woman looks at him and looks a little startled, but pulls her child a little closer. Says it's time we should be going.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Stop it.
do I notice that Rohan and I are somehow, I don't know, getting better at being together at the same time?
Yes, I mean you are getting better at being there at the same time. That does seem to be a thing. That is true.
Okay.
And kid, as you look at Rohan and Freya, there is a thick black bound between them.
Like those strings, but like very dark and nasty.
Yes. You can see through it. Like once again, it's a Photoshop layer.
You're right.
But it is
The
definitely
opacity
there.
is down. Like it's translucent.
The bond between them is incredibly strong, if not nigh unbreakable.
Huh. Did you guys see any crazy stuff?
Yeah. Who else wants a drink after that?
Yeah.
I met a crazy person.
Are you okay? Did they hurt you?
No, he was really nice. Just a little kooky.
Okay. I met an interesting person too. I met a dragon goddess.
So you found her.
Yeah, I found Anaya. I can also now see ghost strings, and I know how to get to Wenra. And I can find Zarian to stop him. But we're gonna have to wait 4 months to do it. But that's okay. That's okay. On the 4th full moon, we just go to my mom's house, and then we're gonna go back to Earth somehow. We got this. But we're stranded here for 4 months, so that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I brought some money.
And with that, we go to break.
We'll be back in about 10 and 15 minutes. Make sure you get up, stretch, drink water, do all the things, and we will be back in a little bit. Enjoy the art and the music. Hello, everyone. We are back.
All right. Hi, everybody. Everybody had a brief conversation with some god deities, a forgotten god, and they just found out they are stuck on Palladium for about 4 months. And they must find their way to the birthplace of Kid's mother, where they will have access to Earth again. So, in the meantime, everybody, I've talked to you about this beforehand, but let's let people know what happened. Let's start with Peppermint. How did you spend the months?
So Peppermint didn't really go too far unless anybody needed her. She kind of just made a camp outside of town and sort of set up to practice medicine and stuff and help people where she could and get in a little bit of trouble with fairies.
Yeah, you were saying that one of the first things you did to try to help people was deal with people who were having a problem that was causing people to get sick, and it turns out it was a fairy who then took a liking to you.
Yes.
And do you want to name that fairy?
I
mean,
I don't have anything off the top of my head.
Let's see. What kind of fairy was it? Let's pick from the list of fairies. Oh, common fairy. That's not fun. Let's say it was one of the brownies, the least mischievous and most helpful and friendly of the fairy folk. So their name is usually naked. They like to wear old, never new clothes with big floppy hats. Let's see. Brownies have an incredible sweet tooth with a love for honey. Honey Hat.
Okay.
The brownie that you allied with is Honey Hat, and Honey Hat actually was an expert at fighting monsters. So Honey Hat, which I will have to write down before I forget, teaches you a good bit about monster hunting, about tactics you can use, and hands you a thing that you can use to make sure you have everything you need to hunt most of the supernatural evils that often cause harm for fairies.
Awesome.
Anything else?
Yeah, and just make friends with some of the locals. Specifically, if there's like a beekeeper or something nearby.
Yeah, there is an apiary and a honey cellar, which is part of the reason Honey Hat likes you so much, is because the first time you came by, you smelled of that place. It is run by an older woman who has a couple of her son and her daughter helping around the place, and they're both about both of them are old enough to go off and get married. So they're like 18, 19, but her business is busy. And that is I have a list of names. Where's my fun list of names? There it is. The Sullivan family. and there is Calum. Oh, I've been watching too much Dragon Prince, but my generator gave me the name Calum. Let's go with Burhan and Laura are the kids. And Fern Sullivan is the old lady beekeeper that brought you in.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah, and would I would imagine when not at her own camp, Peppermint spends a lot of time over at the Sullivan family apiary.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, they everyone is very nice there. They are doing decent, but Fern Sullivan is older and has a cough. And so, that's how you first met them. And they are lovely people. But let's go next to. Sorry, let me look at my overlay. Let's go next to Sarissa.
Okay, so at first I tried to follow people around, but then I realized I wasn't being as helpful as I thought I could be. And I remembered if I went to the library, Flord might have some information for us. So I go off on my own little quest to go to the library, to meet Flord, to try to get the information we need out of him.
All right. Sorry if you can hear my cat. He's being a jerk. There is literally nothing I can do to stop it. But you go to Flord Bonsiphus, and Flord Bonsiphus says or gives you a bunch of information. Gives you some maps. Is there anything specific you want to know about this world or about a specific area? You can ask me now, and later you can reference that you had a conversation, and we'll roll a rough history check, and
Okay.
you can have Lord Bonsiphus give you that information. We'll flash back to that scene.
Okay.
So yeah, Lord Bonsiphus teaches you some stuff, shows you around the library, is definitely pissing off all the academics.
Teaches me some very bad habits.
Teaches you some kind of bad habits, but shows you that the ones he's annoying, part of Lord Bonsiphus's thing is that they don't like people who are unable to find any humor in themselves. And they definitely take the piss out of the head of the place, the library. And when you came here, you had to bring a book. Much like Candlekeep, I think this is a cool thing, so they do it here too. For admittance to the library, you must bring a book they don't have. And so you found that that your old friend Jeddah had packed a copy of what would be the least appropriate thing that Jeddah could stick in your bag for a book for you to read?
Jeez. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yes, but that's a good book. But yes, so Jeddah gave you a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide, and you burned through it a couple of times. It's not a hard read. It's very fun. And so they don't have that there. They file it under weird fiction. And they put it in a restricted section to those who know magic, or are aware at least of the multiverse or megaverse. The Lord Bonsiphus teaches you things that we've discussed, certain spells and whatnot, and yeah. All right, I can't think of anything else. So, up next is Kid. Kid, during these months, what did you want to do? I think we talked about it a while ago, but
Well, because he literally can't go anywhere, um, and doing nothing would drive him nuts. He first tries to find a way to be useful, fixing things for people, making things. If there are shops that need repairing, new hinges on a door, stuff like that is what I
Yeah.
think he would make.
Of all of you, Kid is the most quick to make money.
I think
as-
that makes sense. Yeah.
As Peppermint is less likely to take money for her services.
I definitely take money for myself.
You take money, especially because you're working for shops. Though the one
Yeah.
that will probably make the most money is probably going to end up being Greeks. But what else does?
So I think he's been doing a little bit of that, and then in doing so, he also begins to ask around to try to find if there was extended family. If one thing that dwarves are known for, and his dwarven side of his heritage, is that dwarves have a lot of kids, and dwarven families are big. It's like a million cousins, million aunts and uncles. So I think he would want to try to find, if he can, maybe his clan. And I believe I was told to look up a certain clan. I can't remember. Yeah, my clan was the Dead Pilers. And I think more recently they have become the Cairn Carvers, or what is now, or they used to be the Dead Pilers or the Cairn Carvers, and now they are known as the Orc Smashers.
Yes, that's right, Orc Smash.
And I also found out that I was perhaps named after one of their greatest warriors, but I think I want to look for the Orc Smashers and Orc Smash Keep if possible.
You do find it, but when you get there, everything is blue. Everyone's
told
wearing blue tabards.
Oh shit! What was I? Oh, buddy, I don't.
You were told that things are great if everyone's in red,
and to beware if everyone's in blue.
Not directly to beware, but yeah, to beware.
So would I've gone? I feel like
you can hit like the outskirts of Orkhold Keep, and you do find some people with some red stuff.
Okay, are those the Orc Smashers?
Those are the Orc Smashers that are related directly to the one you met, whose name I'm blanking on at the moment.
I have it. The Gray. Tell me. Don't you tell me.
Blank the Gray. I don't remember what the blank is.
No, his name is Gray, the Holy Dwarf.
Oh, Gray, the Holy Dwarf.
Yeah, his name was Gray.
Yeah. He is... he's kind of the prodigal one that left.
Okay.
Because things were in a bad state here, and though his line is more directly related to the ones that should be in rule, they didn't have enough forces to hold, or to, let's say, push the point legally, let's say, as a different part of the family kind of had a stronger political and military favor at the moment.
This is the same clan. They are technically like related, kind of.
Yeah.
But there is like heavy
drama.
Gotcha. Okay, essentially.
It's a 4 generations back bastard son of a king.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
So okay. Does it get violent? Like, what am I dealing with? What am I walking into here?
It hasn't gotten violent in a while, not since Gray left, and that's one of the reasons Gray left, because when Gray was here, it kept getting violent.
Okay.
And
because
by Gray leaving, by Gray leaving, it, quieted everything. And
did we say? Because we talked a little bit about this. Did we say that I would have mentioned my mother, or did we say
here's
that?
The question: would you have? Because I think you talked about her in front of Gray.
I think I did, and I think Kid would be very excited to meet family. And obviously they would ask, and I don't, because I had strict rules when in the garden not to mention my mom at all, not to mention Lockhinge, but it's okay to mention my thing. But she didn't say anything about Palladium itself.
When you do mention your mother,
okie dokie,
you are sent to a great aunt.
Cool.
One of the oldest dwarves there.
Awesome.
who basically, the second you are introduced to her, smacks you with a pan.
She hits me in the face with a pan.
Yes, she does.
Ah!
She goes, your mother, you say?
What? My mother, yeah.
And you're not lying.
No, Crotadina, yeah.
Great Aunt Crodina is a shame upon this family for what she did.
Well, that's not my fault. Why'd you hit me? I thought you'd be excited, you know?
Because you
Here I
brought
am.
it up.
I didn't bring it up. They asked me where I came from. Look, I'm just excited to see that I have members of my family. I thought I was, kind of alone.
Sit down, I'm making stew.
Okay. Sit down. It feels a bit like home.
Yeah.
What is my my aunt's name? Is that what this would be, or is she my? Wait,
She is your.
is that my niece? Is that like my
Some
very
kind of
very?
great niece?
Okay, dwarves.
And her name is Yehuda Orc Smash.
Yehuda Orc Smash. My great niece? Question mark. Orcs live too long and they just keep having kids. That's
What, you
what
mean
causes
dwarves?
this problem. What? Yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
Did you mean dwarves? Because you said orcs keep having kids.
Oh, dwarves, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they're pretty dang different. But yeah, they have too many kids and they live too long. I don't think orcs live a long time. The dwarves.
They live about a little less than a human's lifespan naturally.
They live like 80, right?
Well, about
And
the
the
same as a
dwarves
human,
live
then. Yeah.
But dwarves live like
Dwarves live in
400
like
years.
400, yeah. So
Stupid.
this
It's too
woman is
long.
at least 300 years old.
Well, she's on her way out.
Yeah. She's 300 if she's a day.
Man, that's like being like 40 in the human years. Pretty much. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Older people in the.
So, does she doesn't she talks to you about her life,
Okay.
about the things going on with Gray and how it's all a big controversy that would only be settled if Gray would come back and sit on the throne, and then everyone would get in line behind him. And everything you've seen has said not everybody will get in line behind him.
But yeah, if that was the case, then you guys would already be agreeing, right?
Well, they just don't see it yet. They'll get there. They know better.
Right.
This is the traditions. If you start breaking the traditions, then you've got to invent whole new traditions, and then you're just confused with what the new traditions are. And let me tell you, I hate the newfangled traditions.
Yeah, right. I mean, traditions. The whole point is that they're old.
Something wrong with being old?
No, it just seems like, I mean, what's wrong? I don't know. What's wrong with new traditions? I think the more traditions, the cooler. Maybe you can remember old traditions and new traditions. That's neat. Then I
can't even remember the new traditions.
I mean, I don't know any of your traditions, and I'm having a good time.
Well,
imagine double
she takes
Christmas.
umbrage at that and pulls out a giant tome. It slams on the table, making you jump back
with a phone book.
But she starts telling you about things that your clan has done for the past 300 years.
Oh, he listens. He listens intently. Very interested.
It's a good bit of fighting. It's some bit of workmanship. And then there's, other things. But unless you push the point, she's not going to talk about the past.
I definitely would. I would definitely ask about my mom, and that, did she know her? And
it's like, no. Do I look 6,000 to you?
Oh, right.
You don't even teach kids to count today or proper histories.
How we're just gonna gloss over the fact that my mom is 6,000 years old. I don't know how to even ask that question. I think he just ignores it because I don't think he knows how to ask that. That's a lot.
But she brings it. Basically boils down to your mom was involved in something towards the towards the end of the second piece in the Elf-Dwarf War, that brought shame so bad that the family changed its name.
Oh, that must be the war, the elf dwarf war, and that there was some sort of horrible weapon or something used, right? Something so bad that everybody gave up magic.
Yep.
We heard about that.
Well, at least you're learning some of the histories.
Yeah. A friend of mine actually painted a picture of it somehow. I think she saw it in a dream or something. That's pretty wild. She's not even been here. She's not even from here. Well, I guess technically she is. Anyway.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do now?
And she tells you about the state of things and lists all your nieces and shows you carvings of like the great heroes of the family line.
Oh,
with
he
a
definitely.
big gap in the middle there. Yeah.
I guess after like absorbing a lot of this, again, it's just a lot. I think he just wants to, because I feel like though this is awesome and it's great, and he's meeting like family that he's never met, and it's really intense and wonderful. He also kind of can't get rid of this like the shadow of what needs to be done, and the news that Zarian cut Wenra's face is because he, suspected it and he heard it a little bit. He was thinking about it before, but to have it absolutely confirmed is pretty fucked. So I think he wants to work. I think he wants to like work and build stuff.
Yes.
So he wants to find maybe members of his family that are into smithing and see what their smithing techniques are like, and show them a bit of his own. And
a lot of it is the same. A lot of it is
awesome.
Literally down to the hammer pacing the same.
Awesome.
There's a couple of techniques that your mom kind of innovated that have carried with the family.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught you them as though they were new, and they were like, well, yeah, everyone learns that. And there's a couple of things from more modern stuff. You're used to a few more modern conveniences than they have there.
Yeah. Because I have technology in my world.
Yeah. And for them, this is technology. Speaking of technology, am I jumping ahead?
No.
Yeah, I'm jumping ahead.
Go to Greeks.
It was such a good transition.
Go.
Okay.
We can come back at some other time. Don't worry about it.
Greeks.
Yeah.
What are the main things you're doing?
First, they asked Peppermint if she would teach them to ride a horse, give them some horse riding lessons.
Yeah, completely cool. Yeah, so you pick up horse riding general.
And then they started teaching a variety of folks some advanced mathematics and science stuff.
Yeah, in Palladium, there is a good amount of advanced mathematics. A lot of it is in the library, and you start getting paid to lecture because of your grasp of it from a different angle. And you're more public about it. Some people believe that this kind of knowledge should only be for the rich because they're the only ones who can properly use things like physics. But you find a lot of the merchant class is willing to pay quite a bit to learn, to have their children taught things like physics and engineering. Certain engineering techniques are just universal in a world with gravity and, with similar physical laws. And you amass a decent amount of money, probably enough to pay for other hobbies or other things by being the smartest green person that any of these have ever met. There's a couple of places where they are unkind to anyone who isn't, human. But you are quickly told of those places and to avoid them, and even some of the people from there send their children to you to learn.
Kind of like underground night school.
Yes, none of them would admit that they have done such. But as you become one of the greatest teachers of physics they have in this world, you start being able to take in great deals of money. What do you do with other bits of your time when you're not teaching to snotty rich kids?
Somewhere along the line, uh, met some elven sailors and helped them with improving their boats and learn how to sail, and they taught learned learn how to speak Elven and read and
Nice.
write.
Yes, it's the most common language in this world, and so you pick it up pretty quickly. The elven sailors are a rowdy bunch, and care a lot more about style. They aren't exactly privateers. They do battle pirates, but mostly because they're merchants. And you improve their boats. You teach them how to put iron on the side of their boats without the boat sinking, and you build a steam engine, but you're not sure it's gonna last too much longer once you're not there to do the upkeep. So you can slap a steam engine on a boat. You pick up sailing. I have an image of Greeks with a pirate hat, like hanging off the front of a boat with a mug in their other hand.
Yeah.
Drunkenly singing Elvish pirate or Elvish
Sea shanties.
sea shanties. Why couldn't I wrap my face around sea shanties? But yeah, you had also said that you take to teaching others who are like less affluent in the world before. So you also set up like an underground school for, there's a goblin community that's doing okay, and you spend more time probably helping them with a lower level of math because they haven't had the opportunity to have, expensive tutors. But do you want to put some of your funding into a school? Some of this money you amass.
Yeah, sure.
What do you want to call the school?
Mm.
I hadn't brought this up before. So if you think of a good name, if you want to come back to it, that's cool.
I like that we're all like dicking around, and Greeks is like fucking kickstarting the Industrial Revolution. He's like,
Well,
this
a lot of
pretty
it
cool.
would be
It
with
needs
kids' help.
industry. Like,
Kids' skill in forging would be the one,
Yeah.
probably pull. And with kids' connections, that helps the red side of the Karen Carvers amass some funding.
Holy shit! We should like teach them how to make like suspension bridges and stuff, and like
Oh, they know how to do bridges. Suspension bridges they don't think would be worth it
suspension
because
bridges. Hey, you got
why?
a canyon. You got a canyon. You got to build a suspension bridge across it.
Yeah, you have a canyon and then there's the roof. And you build a bridge across it.
What? There's no roof in a canyon.
Yeah, there is. When you're in the mountain, there is.
No. Oh, right, dwarves. Right. Okay.
Dwarves.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep. I don't know. We can fucking think of some shit that the world needs.
But you do notice that occasionally one of the things you've like kind of pushed technology forward a little on, there are some people who don't like that. And every now and then, like, we built the suspension bridge, and then someone was like, whoops, it got knocked down in this explosion, mysteriously.
Mm.
It's
Which
new. It scares me. Yeah.
which brings us to Freya. Freya, you find out there is a conspiracy to kind of keep that kind of technological knowledge out of the hands of the people.
Frey doesn't like that. So yeah, first Freya would sort of like make everyone huddle and figure out like what everyone wants to do because she's the one with the money and like, but then when Kid and Greeks, say they figured out how to get money, and then Peppermint is like, I don't really need because B stuff. She definitely makes sure Starissa has enough. And
you
make sure
send Starissa to study at the library.
Yeah, and I make sure it's like she has a place to stay, and make sure she has money, and it's like make sure like okay, well, kid's going to be here, and Peppermint's there, um, and stuff like that. And then um, so she also practices more with having her and Rohan out to actually um because that's really important because before it's like one had to be dormant and while the other one Rohan wax and is dormant, but actually start to do a
Balance
little
it.
bit better that way.
Yeah.
And then I see Freya meeting this elven woman named Malara, and she's hot. And of course, if you want to get with the elven woman, you learn Elvish. Um, and look, Freya's gay as fuck. Okay, come on. So, so she learns Elvish, and also picks up some history of Palladium because I'm paying attention to her because she's hot. Um,
She's a scholar.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
She's an
the
Elven scholar.
librarian
She is also at the library, just for
Ooh.
ease.
Ooh.
Yeah.
For Starissa's sake, there's all kinds of young students occasionally at the library.
Mhm.
If Starissa wants to follow Freya's lead.
Yeah. And then I think maybe some of that underground, maybe they got fighting or something. And so like when Greeks is doing his underground thing, Freya's like protecting, and she learns boxing.
Nice.
While doing that. And then one of the things that she's been wanting to learn more about is tactics, because somehow she's gone from this loner who didn't really care about anyone, and all of a sudden now she's with this group and they look to her for plans and stuff, and now she actually cares about them living. And she's gotten to know them and she considers them friends, and she's like, well, I want them to live and I want to be a better planner when we're going into more combat, because she also senses that when they face Zarian's had this military training. She knows she's not going to compete with Zarian, but at least be able to give us a better chance of surviving. So she does learn tactics.
I'm trying to think if there's a specific book, because you can absolutely learn all about siege warfare, all about any kind of tactics that this world has seen at the library. The library has a whole section on military history. There's a book called Engines of Destruction, all about siege engines. I don't think that's too relevant, because there is a book that lists what some of the books you might find. And
yeah, she's more interested in being able to, because she knows how to like walk around a city and find like the black market and stuff, but she wants to now be able to look at an area and go, okay, we could probably maybe ambush from here or hide here or have an escape route here, to be able to just plan better.
Overview a battlefield, kind of.
Yeah. Because she realizes like the time when they met the pirates at that one city that went bad, and it's like somehow they lived through the whole destroying the factory thing and stuff. So yeah, she wants to be a little bit better than that, because somehow when things happen, they look to her, and she's been faking it, and now she doesn't want to fake it anymore.
You pretty easily find the equivalent of Sun Tzu here. You actually do also find a copy of Sun Tzu here, in the Library of Bletherad, which you might not have spent the time to read before. But there's a book called A History of Dire Conflict, which has a lot, but it also describes the Elf-Dwarf War better than any other book. Let's see, where would you have been? There we go. Yeah. And this helps with one other thing, with finding where in the Dwarven Empire Cairn Carver Keep. Unless I named it something differently before, I don't remember.
I like that name.
Cairn Carver Keep might be found, or the ruins of it at least.
Okay, cool.
You also now know that this is in territory currently considered the Balgor Wastelands, a dangerous, dangerous hellscape? No, not hellscape, because there are literal hellscapes in other places. A wasteland of that, 8,000 years ago exploded, and the scars of it are still permeating the land today.
Okay, noted.
So yeah. Does anyone have anything else they want to bring up? I can't think of too much more.
Just
Anybody?
just studying the moat.
The moat?
Yeah.
Oh, the MOTE, the chip, right?
Yeah, the chip.
The chip feels like at one point you kid looks at the chip and it has a string inside the chip. There's a very light string connecting you to it. But inside the chip itself is something kid wouldn't have even noticed if he didn't have this kind of bonds site. A very intense, very short string that seems to be like when you strike a guitar string.
What do you like, a vibration? Like when
Yeah.
you don't pluck a guitar string?
Yes, it looks
And
like
it's connected to Greeks?
no, the string itself is super tiny. The chip itself is connected to Greeks.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
inside the chip is a separate string with this.
Connected to what?
It's just inside the. It is connected entirely within the chip.
Is this a scene, or are you just telling me this stuff?
I'm telling you this stuff, but we could make it a scene if you want it to be.
Greeks, where did we get this?
This was the when we were all in the garden. This was what I found. And like,
Oh, you got this in the garden?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can see the ghost strings now. I don't know if I told you that. It's pretty cool. And this thing is connected to you. So that's neat. But also there's another separate string inside of it that looks like it's wiggling. But it's just inside of it. It doesn't look like it's anywhere else.
Hmm.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Do you think that means that this is like its own box?
Well, it said that it lost its connection to my home planet. So it's
This is from your home planet?
yeah.
Oh shit.
Somehow it is.
Yes and no. But as far as this conversation, that would be the easiest thing to say.
Is there anything that we can figure out about this thing right now, or is this just for like, are you just laying the pavement? Or something down the road? I'm just how deep into this should we get right now is what I mean. I'm curious. I want to know what this is about, but
yeah, there's something to it that is there, but it won't matter right yet.
Is there anything you can do to investigate this thing anyway? Like, does this go into like a computer or something?
It kind of appeared to me as a computer.
Huh.
I mean, it is a chip. You could. Here it would be difficult to get all the components, but back in the other world,
invent them.
Yeah, you'd have to invent and source them. Sourcing them is the real issue. And then finding tools that would be good enough to like solder and shit. it is a chip. You could potentially put it in something, but it's not any, thing you've seen before. It doesn't have any universal connecting. No one has standardized the Sysamin chip.
And you said there was a, just to clarify, you said there was a faint connection from it to Kid.
No, to Greeks.
Oh.
I guess for now we'll just leave it alone, and then when we get back to Earth, maybe we can play with it more.
Greeks, do you spend more time? Like, do you spend some time each day staring at it, or
Yeah.
you just put it away and not think of it? All right.
No,
If you spend,
just,
sorry.
yes, spend time. Yeah, spend time. Pretty much every day with it. When I
Yeah.
have time.
As you spend time pondering in what you could build with it, Kid, you do see the connection between the chip and Greeks getting a bit stronger.
Ooh, keep doing that.
I mean, it takes a while for you to even notice that it's stronger than it was because it's a slow build.
Okay.
It's like going from 1 centimeter to maybe 1.2 centimeters over the course of a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not exact, that's just metaphorical.
But it looks like there's some kind of progress.
Yeah.
Okay. Spooky.
Yep.
Yep. Greeks, or Kid, at some point you go to meet up with Starissa at the library. And
Hey, Starissa.
You see Starissa and I'm gonna keep forgetting his name. Flord Bonsiphus.
That bizarre person.
And the first time you look at Flord Bonsiphus, they are a goddamn tangle.
Of strings?
But then you blink and it's nothing. They have a small connection to Starissa and just a couple other random ones.
I would like
really
to eyeball a fella.
Okay.
I would like to eyeball a fella.
Okay.
This is the most fella I've ever wanted to eyeball because I'm sure it's meta knowledge, but I sure did not like that conversation one bit, sir.
Well, no, you saw those strings and then were like, "Ooh, that's weird."
Yeah, so I would like to eyeball a fella. Oh boy, haven't rolled in forever. Let's do this. Where is my?
Welcome to the first roll of the night.
My D10 and my other D10 or whatever.
ROLE, not ROLL playing games.
A 33 out of 65.
That guy is a goddamn clown. And underneath that clown is another goddamn guy. And underneath that person is dangerous.
Okay.
And in your soul, you know that to bring their anger on you would cause you to die. You also believe, to an extent, that you are not the kind of person that would bring that kind of anger. Kid can laugh at himself. Kid can take a joke, and Kid doesn't take himself as the most powerful, important thing in the world. But there's some danger there.
Kid would not put this together, but I have a good idea of the kind of what the theme is that you're talking about. You mean what Kid sees is this is a ridiculousness, a person ridiculousness, but very chaotic and dangerous.
I wouldn't say chaotic. In fact, not chaotic. Ridiculous and dangerous, but organized.
Interesting.
But also lighthearted and full of joy. At one point, you do get the shock buzzer hand handshake from them.
That's pretty good.
And the fact that you laugh at it.
You definitely laugh at it. Like, even with all that, being like, who is this? Like, he would, like, instantly think that that's funny.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. I didn't even see that on your hand. And I have gloves, too.
he
These
hands
are
it to you.
magic gloves. Somehow that buzzer weight made it through there, which is worrying.
He hands you it. It is your standard joke shop magic buzzer. Or
Awesome.
like, handshake buzzer.
Oh, so cool. Do you have the things that people sit on and it makes them sound like they fart?
Whoopee cushion.
Yes.
Or as I like
those
to
are
call
great.
them, the Floop Pants Special.
Ooh, I like that. Completely.
Listen, I've yet to find a place where farts aren't funny.
That's true. I doubt there is a place, unless there's like a world that's all farts, in which case then it would probably just be boring.
But their farts are flowers.
That's pretty funny though.
Yep.
So what are you guys doing?
Research.
Yep.
If possible, Freya would also try to look up what's it, Ville, and see if
Vil, you find do you have research by any chance?
no.
Okay, you have the skill research. Roll a d100.
I
Okay.
have who, me?
No, Kate.
Freya? Oh, okay.
Kate has the skill research because she's been working with what's his face.
Got a 34.
That is definitely low enough.
Yes.
You find some rare old tomes that are in some special sections that you aren't given access to. Would you like to gain access to those sections?
Oh, definitely.
Now, here's the thing. Starissa could potentially gain access, but you know who might be better at gaining access is Freya. So, Freya, give me. Do you have any kind of unlocking skills or some stealth stuff?
Oh, yeah, palming. I have pick locks.
Give me a roll on 2 of those skills.
What, on both of them?
Yes, palming and picklocks.
Okay. Palming is 30 under 35.
Good.
Pick locks is 18 under 45.
So you needed the first thing to get the key off of someone to open the magically warded door, and then you needed to unlock the book from the chain it was on to the shelf.
Excellent.
The book that discusses Vril, you find one other mention of him them basically, because it isn't. Yes, an elder. You find one mention in the Tristine Chronicles, which is the Great History, but not in all copies of the Tristine Chronicles. Only some copies of the Tristine Chronicles reference this. And for only the tentacle god was trusted enough to sit amongst the lords of chaos, and unbeknownst to them, let loose the magic to bring an end to their terrible reign. The price for his betrayal and bringing of the bloodbath of the war to an end, a small but terrible choice. And he said unto them, Thou must be in agreement to every last one, that I shall live free and unshackled amongst the mortals, and an equal among the divine, unharmed and left to my own device ever after. And so it was with much trepidation agreed upon by all, for lo, the reaching darkness be the lesser of evils, and a necessary means to the end of the age of chaos. And the darkness smiled. It's bad.
So the reaching darkness fought the agents of chaos.
So in this world, this is something you can easily find out from the Tristine Chronicles as well. There was the Age of Chaos, which was when the old ones ruled everything, like everything everyone was aware of, and created beings and things for the purpose of destroying them. until the dragons rose up against them, or the dragons and several other big things like Kim Narkmar, the dragon, the god of all dragons, dragon god of all dragons. A great, I'm not sure if it was Lictalon themselves. I think it was Lictalon and a great angel whose name I'm currently blanking on, but brought an end to the Age of Chaos by destroying most of the old ones. And some believe that the body of one of the old ones became the world that it was Palladium.
Oh, that's metal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
And
this, what? Yeah.
several copies of the Tristine Chronicles indicate that as well as those 3 great spellcasting beings, an angel, a wizard of unmatched power, and a dragon god, Vril wants credit for turning traitor on the old ones, or claims credit for it. And in the book you unlocked, you see a number of cults formed around Vril, especially in a place called the Western Empire, sometimes referred to as an Empire of Sin, which is basically this world's the absolute worst people. It is a human empire, and they are aggressive and terrible. And often but the thing is, they've never grown too powerful because they often engage in wars that don't end well for them. They're still big, but they don't have a great win-loss record. Currently, I believe the Western Empire is on the verge of war with the Wolfen Empire, and it's unknown which side has greater advantage.
Wow. And that's the thing who said that one day I'm going to want to be friends with it.
One day you will reach out to the darkness, and the darkness will reach back. I don't know about being friends.
Right. Okay, then. It's interesting.
All right. Kid, you see a bond between Freya and an elf woman that walks by in the background.
Freya's say, Freya, that person's got a ghost with you.
Well, she has something with me.
Oh, gross.
Wait, how?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an exceptionally strong or like permanent connection, but it was a connection.
Was it? Could I tell if it was stronger on one side or the other?
Not really. You're not that experienced with it,
Okay.
And well, that'd be up to Freya.
I want to eyeball that fella.
Freya would have been honest with her, and
Listen, I'm leaving in a couple of months.
yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you also have
Yeah, buddy.
your relationship impacted that person for life, and no matter who
Yeah.
they go on to be from here, you will always have had at least a little bit of that connection.
Yeah. And Freya would have been.
Yeah.
I got a 72 to eyeball that fella. Out of 65, so I didn't do very well.
You thought they were flirting with you at first, and now you're confused.
He just doesn't understand how flirting works at all. Huh.
You were like, that was flirting, and Freya's like, not with you.
Ah, damn it. I'm really bad at that.
Yeah, I got that first, so.
Nice. I mean, still gross, but nice, I guess.
Wait, gross because we're 2 women, or gross just
What? No,
because
that's kind of awesome. It's gross because you're Freya. Ugh. You know, no offense, you're pretty and stuff, but you know, you're Freya. Ugh. That's
Oh,
like
so it's like picturing your sister having sex. That's gross.
I don't have a sister, but I'm sure that would be gross. Yeah,
So
kinda.
okay,
Yeah.
that's how I'm going to take it, and you will accept that because any other interpretation will mean I beat you up. And I've learned how to box, so it would be really bad.
You learned
Okay.
how to box?
Yes, I did.
Oh, cool. Why?
Well, Greek's got his thing going on. Somebody had to help, you know, be protective. And some of them actually knew how to do that. So it's kind of really cool. Learn from
That's
them.
pretty cool.
Yeah. They learn
Maybe
from
when we
Greeks.
get
I
back
learned from
to-
them.
Maybe when we get back to Earth, we can get you like electric gloves or something. That'd be cool. I could make knuckles. I could make like gauntlets or gloves with metal knuckles on them if you
Those
want.
sound heavy.
Yeah. I need these to handle tools and
Well, maybe like fingerless glove knuckle dusters. What I mean is just maybe like some small metal notches right there. Just give you a little extra. I don't know.
well,
Maybe Greeks knows of like some sort of weird leather that you can make it out of that'll make it faster or something. I don't know.
we'll cross that bridge. Which, by the way, I heard about that last bridge that mysteriously. Sorry about that.
Yeah, man, we keep making those. They're hard to make, and Greeks had the whole plan, and then they just keep falling apart somehow. I think this planet's cursed or something, and that's why they don't have computers and stuff. I think, but we keep trying. Anything to make their lives a little easier.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Storis, is there anything else? Because I think you started to say something before.
Oh no,
Okay.
nothing to fit in here.
Gotcha. I'm trying to think, like, what is one adventure that Starissa would have gone on and not the others, and I don't think she would tell them about it. So, okay.
Nope.
All right. The group we cut to, the credits roll and then the after credits opens up to the group riding on weird lizards through a
Cool.
burnt, blackened desert. The heat is immense. You have a guide with you who is a bluish being with no nose. I think they're called. No, it's not an Androth. I wanted to use the Quarians, I believe. I forget which one I wanted to use. But it is one of the beings who knows a lot about the Elf Dwarf War. And as the group is riding along, you've got a couple others with you, like a couple of guides, because that's just how they roll here for defense. One of those guides disappears into the sand.
Like just suddenly, like.
Yep.
Can we get him out? I want to try and get him out.
As soon as your feet hit, the ground beneath you begins to shake. And rearing up is a massive, pale, white worm the size of, let's say, a small commuter train.
Oh, Beetlejuice sandworm.
And that's where we're going to leave off for the night.
Oh, Beetlejuice sandworm.
Oh man.
Beetlejuice sandworm.
Gotta have some rolls tomorrow or next time.
Yeah.
Gotta roll for stuff occasionally.
Why are we in this desert, Kevin?
Because Freya found.
I've
that's where
given you
your
all
mama
the information as to why you're in this desert.
Go home.
Yeah,
Oh, so we're
Freya-
done. This has been the 4. I didn't know
Yeah.
if we were still in the 4 months we suddenly went on an adventure in the desert.
Nope. No,
Okay,
Freya
cool,
had to
cool,
tell
cool,
you
cool.
that unfortunately your mom was born in this really, it's awful now. And we're going to have some trouble getting there.
That tracks. That makes sense. She super didn't like it. She didn't want to talk about it.
Oh yeah, it wasn't that bad when she lived there.
It's gotten worse.
Yes. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us so much on this episode of Rifts. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, buddy.
Flanagan. And so, let's start. Do our quick outros with the person who makes sure this game can happen. Peppermint.
Hi everyone. I'm Nerdy Teddy. You can find me on Twitter at Nerdy Teddy. Of course, you can find me here Tuesdays, and you will find me here Fridays for Monster of the Week, Warehouse 15 game. I will also be behind the scenes for VTM on Sundays, so come check that out. And then, of course, June 19th, if you are interested in trying your hand at Yu-Gi-Oh, we have prizes and stuff, and we'll be raising money for the Stonewall Community Foundation. And I write games sometimes, and you can check them out at the link in the chat, or you can head over to Twitter. It's in my bio as well.
All right, thank you so much. All right, Starissa.
Hi, Kate. You can find me on Twitter at Reverie_cutie, and here on Tuesdays, as long as these wonderful people will have me. And that's about it.
Yay! Thank you so much for joining us. You are, I consider you now one of the cast, by the way, just so you know. You're, yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Just wanted to say it officially. Are we frozen on stream, or is that my browser? Probably my browser, I'm going to assume. All right.
No, I see us frozen as well.
Nope, it's working.
Oh, okay.
So up next is Kid.
Hello, everybody. I am Evan Jennings. You can find me at Evan Jennings64 on the Twitter. I'm not very good at social media, so it's probably not much there. And Zombie Love Juice on Instagram. I do some artwork on Art of Zombie Love Juice. And me and my girlfriend do streaming. It's called Couch Co-op on Twitch. We usually do it every Thursday, give or take, a break or two. And the last things we were playing was Resident Evil Village, which is pretty wild. So if you want to watch us play stuff and you want to watch me be bad at games, find Couch Co-op on Twitter or Twitch. I'm not good at social media. That's Amanda.
Luckily, Amanda is. Yeah,
she's very good at it. It's Couch Co-op has its own Twitch as well, where you can find her giving better information.
We'll get a link to it eventually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. I'll ask her about that.
Okay. So, Freya.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm Michelle_game on Twitter, and yeah, that's really pretty. I'm here, and that's pretty much it right now.
All right, and Greeks.
Hi, I'm Ting. Find me on Twitter at TingChat. All my other links are there. Yep. And I'm here Tuesdays, and happy Pride.
Yeah, happy Pride Month.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is the first.
Yep.
All right, and my name is Kevin. I've been your game boss for the evening. Thank you so much for joining us. You can find my wife's amazing knitwear designs, including her top charting on Ravelry Geek Along sweater called, what is the name of it? Oh my god, On Board? I think it's called On Board. And I've tell you, I've seen the thing. It's amazing. And so check her out at lattesandllamas.com. And I'm going to type it in. Oh, 2 L's and llamas. There you go. And because this year the Geek Along is a sweater, and it's just starting up right now. Like this weekend was the first thing about your yarn requirements for it, and it's amazing, let me tell you. So thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next week. Thank you for watching on demand or on video if you do. And Nerdy, do we have a raid?
Yes, tonight we're going to be raiding the Fey Realm. Looks like they're playing Necronautilus, and Rowan is running that, and they are going to be running the VTM game that'll be on Sunday. So
nice.
Please make sure to check that out, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.